Hello, my Panda pals, and welcome back to the channel and to another recap. Today I'm gonna cover what happened on The Last Resort, Season 2, Episode 2. So buckle it up and let's go for a ride. So after Ari kicks Binny out and Jasmine and Gino continue to not sleep in the same bed, Sophie and Rob cuddle up and they relish in the fact that they are the least problematic couple at the resort.
Bad, but it's as bad as other people.
No, we're not the worst here.
Natalie and Josh are in their rooms also acting like their shit don't stink. Josh is like, none of the other couples are sleeping together. They're all sleeping with other people.
Natalie and I, we're okay in that department.
Our relationship, like 70%, it's sex, 2% we fight.
What about the other 28%, girl? Can you not do math? Josh does not agree. He's like, okay, we definitely do not bang that much.
Actually, 75% is fighting.
You're just too sensitive.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. Josh is like, I mean, we probably have some issues that we could work on to make us better. And Natalie is like, what problems? And Josh is like, well, there's you and you and, you.
We'll get to a place and then I feel a lot of pressure from you for certain things that I just can't deliver.
So Josh thinks that the biggest issue is that Natalie keeps pushing him to start a family with her. And sure, Natalie is definitely like, put a baby in me right now, but that's not exactly the reason why she hasn't seen the inside of your house now, is it? No, why is it? It's cause she crazy.
This is 3 weeks, and in that 3 weeks, we're gonna know, yeah, we're gonna do this, or no, we're not gonna do this.
Oh, baby boy, you cannot fix crazy in 3 weeks, even with therapy. Like, get out of here. It's a new day, and Brandon starts the day pissing Julia off by making her feel like his mother.
How many socks did you pack for me?
I have no idea. Telling you pack your socks and panties. I'm not your mother. Why you didn't pack your socks?
I could never. You are a grown-ass man. Grab a pile of your socks, throw them in a bag. I don't know why you had to add anybody else into that equation. Jasmine and Gino start the day off with some apologies.
I'm sorry for saying all the nasty things I said last night because I didn't mean to say those things.
I'm sorry that I made you worried.
Jasmine tells Gino that she was with their mutual friend Brandy on the days that she was MIA, and Gino is not super sure that he believes her, but he's pretty much just gonna turn a blind eye to it for the sake of their marriage.
I'm feeling a little bit better about the fact that I don't believe that Jasmine is sleeping at a guy's house.
Florian and Stacy wake up and she's like, just be nice to me. And it is crazy to me the number of people in these relationships that are asking their partners to just be nice to them. Heidi the counselor visits Ari and Binny first because they seem to have the biggest issues out of everyone here.
Ari stated her concerns very concise, and Binny responded with anger.
Ari is like, all Binny had to do was come in here and tell me that he's so super sorry for hurting me, but I guess the man doesn't want to fix what he broke. So they all sit down and Heidi is like, so how's everyone feeling? Binny is like, first things first, I'm gonna need my social media back. Now, obviously, this pisses Ari off because it sounds like Binny cares more about his Insta than saving their marriage, but also because she does not feel like she did anything wrong.
I changed all his passwords. I don't regret it because I was so pissed off and so upset.
Binny is like, the girlie is blackmailing me, okay? She is holding my livelihood hostage unless I do everything she says.
She can give it to me my trust back.
I mean, how could I trust someone who cheats on me?
Listen, sometimes you can fix these things and sometimes you just have to walk away, but blackmailing someone into loving you is never the right answer.
You both said, I want to be in this marriage. Your actions and the way you talk to each other doesn't say that.
Exactly.
And then she's like, Ari, do you want to save this marriage? And she's like, I don't know, sometimes. And then Heidi is like, Binny, do you want to fix this marriage? And then after a pause that is way too long, he's like, yeah, obviously.
Do you want it at all?
Yes.
So Heidi gives him some advice and she's like, let's table the social media conversation for now because that is not gonna get you guys anywhere if you two do not learn how to listen to each other and communicate better first.
You're teammates, you're not enemies. So go through this process with an open heart, okay?
Okay.
I love that they shook hands like they were just closing a business deal. The couples all van up, and I don't know why Natalie is not sitting next to Josh, but she's not. They drive to the middle of nowhere, and Julia is like, oh my god, snakes!
Okay, guys, be careful with scorpions and snake.
I carry anti-venom in my purse, so it should be fine.
Yeah?
Damn! The biatch came prepared! They see a huge pile of rocks, and Julia is like, what the f kind of therapy are we about to do?
There's a huge pile of rocks. Are we gonna throw these at each other? Or?
You just read my mind.
Bro, could you imagine if that was the therapy? Just chucking rocks at each other? But no, this is not the reimagining of the Hunger Games. This is called Compromise Canyon. So the way that this works is each person grabs 2 rocks, they write an issue on the rock that they want to work on in the relationship, and then they put those rocks in their backpacks. So essentially, you are carrying the relationship burdens on your back, and you're supposed to get tired, and I guess you're supposed to think, oh my god, we could have it so much easier if we both just didn't suck so much.
Can I pick this one?
I want a thin one.
Right, I'm picking the smallest one.
Then everyone is supposed to walk a mile to a checkpoint, and then they have to try to come to a compromise on both of the issues. And if they can, they get to leave the rock behind, and if they can't, they gotta lug it all the way back.
Compassion. What does that mean to you?
Like just taking into account like how the other person feels.
And she says it's because they both suck at thinking about the other person. And I know she said they, but we all know she thinks she's perfect, so she definitely just meant he. Natalie writes access because she feels more like a buddy than an actual partner.
If he would take me to his house, he would show that he really cares for me, that he takes me really seriously.
Rob puts transparency because he is upset that he found text messages between Sophie and Callum. You know, the guy who's her bestie from England that she actually dated when she was like 14? So yeah, in those text messages, Sophie tells Callum to not tell Rob that they actually banged when they were young.
You lied to me.
I'm not talking about a situation that happened when I was 14. I'm not.
You've been lying to me this whole time.
I don't think it's a big deal that she banged someone over a decade ago, but I do think it is hella shady that she told him specifically not to tell her husband about it. So everyone splits up into 3 groups. You have Ari, Binny, Stacy, and Florian. And then you have Josh, Natalie, Gino, and Jasmine. And then you have Rob, Sophie, Brandon, and Julia. They are given a map and they are kicked into the wilderness. Well, everyone except Rob and Sophie.
I don't think anyone here would care what their partner did at 14 years old.
No, it's you lying about it. Do you not get the difference?
Well, I didn't know.
James is like, guys, we haven't even started the exercise yet. Why are y'all fighting?
It's funny that she writes compassion on her rock and has 0 for me.
Sophie's super pissy, and she's like, he is mad that I banged someone when I was 14. And Rob is like, girly, I am mad because you lied about it to my face when you were 23.
She deflects and gaslights me and says, oh, well, that all happened when I was younger. No, you lying to me is now.
James looks at Rob and he's like, all right, what do you need, big boy? And Rob is like, I just want her to say sorry.
Like any type of actual remorse, okay, instead of just acting like she just did nothing wrong.
90 Day Fiancé was definitely Rob's villain arc, and I have a feeling that the last resort is gonna be Sophie's. James goes off to talk to Sophie and basically teaches her how to apologize.
He doesn't let things go. I can let things go.
Right now, we diffuse this with, I'm sorry that you're hurt.
As they're walking, Binny tells Ari that he wrote respect, and Ari tells him she wrote affection. And she's like, you know, like, hug me and don't shake my hand like we're business partners. And Binny is like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I would be more affectionate if you weren't such a bitch.
Show me more affection, that would make our relationship a lot better.
If you talk to me like this, like soft, like lover, like...
Florian then gives Stacy a piggyback ride, and Ari sees this and she's like, see, Binny, why can't you do something like that for me? It would be so awesome. And Binny is like, I'm tired, okay? Maybe later. And Ari is like, no, you will do this right now.
Will you do that for me?
No, just I'm tired. Just
honey,
yeah,
that would mean a lot to me.
So Ari jumps on his back for a split second before Binny starts freaking out, and he's like, oh my god, the rock in my backpack is killing me, please get off. So Ari jumps off, and then Binny just walks away.
Let's try it again.
Fun,
no,
it's fine.
I'm not gonna continue. This is ridiculous. You're a baby.
It's actually super frustrating to see how bad these two are at compromising. Like, guys, try holding hands. Ari then starts to cry, Stacy consoles her, and Binny just keeps walking away with Florian.
very hard 5 years of constant cheating and lying. And I'm just embarrassed because I chose this person to marry.
Florian offers some sage advice, and he's like, listen, Benny, maybe you should try listening to her for once. And Benny is like, maybe you shouldn't talk about shit you know nothing about.
If she wants something by force. You know what I'm saying?
And then Florian is like, listen, if you really love someone, then you shouldn't care about your social media.
I don't give a for social media. I don't give a for my Instagram. You should try.
I love how Florian hates therapy, but he loves to play therapist. Everyone groups back up, and Florian is like, listen, y'all just need to shut up and work your shit out. And then Ari is like, okay, well, you know what? It takes two to tango, and Benny over here has no feet. And then Benny gets really mad, and he is like, girly, if you do not give me my social media back, I will leave you.
I'm not move on if you not give it to me freedom.
The therapist asked you not to talk about social media for
I don't
one
want to
day.
talk about Zosté.
Julia and Brandon are trying to find their way alone, and they are not happy about it.
I'm pissed. We are missing our therapy because of another couples.
Brandon is huffing and a puffing, and he is like, God damn it, woman. Did you have to pick the biggest fucking boulder to put into my backpack?
Did you have to pick such a big rock for my bag?
Yes, I choose most heavy rock.
Because you want me to compromise,
Brandon,
don't you?
I feel like we are lost.
Jasmine and Gino finally get to their first checkpoint, and Jasmine pulls out her rock that says independence. So Jasmine is upset because she thought once she got her green card, she was going to be able to reclaim all of her independence. So she wouldn't need to do things like rely on him for rides to go to places that she wanted to go, and she wouldn't need his approval to buy things that she wanted to buy.
And I don't have any sort of support coming from you.
I support you by paying the bills. I've been supporting you since you were in Panama.
But she has her green card now, and nothing has changed.
I need you to get me a car.
Gino is like, I would buy you a car, but I cannot afford it right now, you ungrateful wench. And then he's like, Jasmine, shut up, put the rock back in your backpack, we're leaving.
Put the rock in the bag, let's keep going.
You are the biggest scammer in the world.
Right. Keep your rock.
Benny and Ari get to their checkpoint, and holy moly, y'all weren't lying when you said Ari was controlling, because this girl gets here and gives him a step-by-step on exactly how this checkpoint is gonna go.
Before we talk about our rocks, we're gonna hold each other's hands and we're gonna look into each other's eyes.
I do think that this is really good at establishing and grounding them as a couple, but I just wish it was a request and not a demand. The two awkwardly hold hands and look into each other's eyes for 30 seconds. And then Ari is like, okay, so could you do that, but like look at me like you actually love me?
It's supposed to be you look lovingly into each other's eyes and you want to do as little time as possible.
So we did. You want more?
Oh my God, this reminds me of this absolute hat that I used to date back in the day. We were at a company party, it was like red carpet, and so we got all dressed up. And at the end of the night, I was just like, it's really bothering me that you never told me that I looked pretty. It would have been really nice to hear. And he was like, I did tell you you were pretty. And I'm like, you just didn't, because if you did, I would have remembered. And he was like, okay, whatever. You want me to tell you again? And obviously I was like, no, it's fine. So yeah, unsurprisingly, he was cheating on me. So we broke up and he is now married, sorry, to his wife. And I know some people are gonna be like, oh my God, maybe he's changed. He didn't, because a few weeks after he got married, he was all up in my DMs saying that he's sad we lost touch and he really wants to reconnect. Anyway, Ari is like, okay, why don't you tell me one way that you are gonna try to show me affection today? And Benny is like, why don't you show me what you want? And at first I was like, Benny, you really can't do a little think and figure that out for yourself? But then I was like, oh, Benny probably doesn't want to do the thinking because anything he says is gonna be the wrong answer because it's not Ari's answer. So Ari's like, okay, I'll show you. She sits down next to him and just holds his arm and just sits there. And then she looks at him and she's like, can you tell me ways that I can show you that I respect you today?
Your voice low, just talk to me just like now where you talk to me. If I don't want something, you don't have to force me.
I love how their compromises conflict with each other because Benny is like, yeah, I will compromise with you and show you more affection, but he needs Ari to compromise with him by not making him do things that he does not want to do, and the thing that he does not want to do is show Ari affection. Anyway, Ari is like, cool. So do you feel like we can leave your rock behind? Like, do you think I did a good job? And Benny's like, yeah, you did a great job. And he leaves his rock behind. And then Ari is like, okay, cool, cause you didn't do a good job and I'm gonna have to keep my rock.
Do you feel like I understood you?
Yeah.
I have to continue to carry the rock. You were not able to show me affection.
Oh my God. Before you send people into Compromise Canyon, maybe you should teach them what a compromise actually looks like. Also, I think it is super shitty that Ari started that whole thing with, I did a good job, right? I did it right. Because let's be honest, we all knew Benny was gonna say yes and leave the rock behind, which allowed Ari to come in and rub it in his face that she still had to keep his rock because he still sucks and he didn't do it right.
Both Benny and I have to hold on to the affection rock because Benny still won't show me any affection and he's using it as a form of punishment.
I mean, it kind of sounds the same as what you're doing, right? You're withholding his social media from him in order to punish him. Stacy and Florian get to their checkpoint and Stacy wrote trust, and this whole time she's explaining why she wrote that. Florian, to me, just sounds so disinterested.
It was something that was very hard and still is very hard to forget.
Stacy starts to cry and Florian tells her to stop crying.
You don't need to cry, please.
You want to take it off of me?
Shh. Just keep it in the hands and don't cry, please.
I don't want it anymore.
I can't tell if she's genuinely crying because it does seem very forced and overdramatic.
I want to be free. I want to be free.
What the hell's wrong?
I love how Florian is so good at consoling everybody except his own wife.
Ready to hug.
And Florian is like, okay, I could give you a hug. So Florian gives her a hug, and then when Stacy comes down, he asks her to give him an example of what he can do so that they can leave their rock behind.
I just need to see more action and not talk.
You're going to see more action, okay?
So Florian says that he will stay out late into the night a lot less often, and when she calls him, he will pick up.
It's going to change many things step by step, you know, little by little.
You promise?
I promise you.
Florian is definitely just saying what he has to get this shit over with as soon as possible because he got to that compromise way too easily. Florian is well aware of all of Stacy's gripes, and the fact that he was able to come to this compromise so quickly means that he knows what he has to do, and I mean, they are at the last resort, which means he's actively choosing not to do those things. Anyway, it's Florian's favorite time. It is his time to talk. And he wrote down on his rock, listen. I thought this was hilarious because Florian definitely loves to hear the sound of his own voice, but it is valid because Stacy also admits that she talks over him all the time, and she justifies it by saying, I know what he's gonna say, so I just finish his sentence and get him there sooner.
I kind of know what he's gonna say, and I'm just trying to help him, get out the words.
When people do that to me, so annoying. Stacy promises to do better, and then the two of them chuck their rocks into the desert. Sophie and Rob finally catch up to Julia and Brandon, and James is with them because he thinks Sophie and Rob need a little bit more handholding. Honestly, I kind of wish each group had a counselor with them to help facilitate. I just think it would have been better than leaving these goobers to their own devices. For example, all of the other couples talked about their own rocks, and apparently, you're not supposed to do it that way.
Make sure we're reading each other's, right? You should not have your own.
Also, the counselors can help them basically separate the wheat from the chaff. Like Julia over here wrote parents on her rock, and she says that she wants Brandon to get her divorced parents who do not like each other to apply for visas to come live in the States permanently.
We don't know what control we have over your parents, but what I'm hearing from you, you want Brandon to support you more.
And if it wasn't for James, who knows how long it would have taken these two to get there? Brandon obviously wrote baby, and Julia is like, listen, if you want a baby and I don't want a baby, why are we even still together? Which, that wouldn't be my first response.
Are you still open to talking about it?
I open to talking about it, but did I want it? No.
Okay, honey, then you are not open to talking about it. So Julia goes ahead, puts her rock baby right back into her backpack because she ain't compromising on that. And then Brandon is like, okay, well then, to hell with your parents. And then he puts his rock back in his pack too. Julia then tells us that Brandon has zero choice when it comes to bringing her parents to the US.
I getting my parents to US even if you don't like. I done research and I doesn't need Brandon help.
And then she tells us if Brandon told her it is either him or her parents, there is no universe that exists where she would be choosing him. Natalie tells Josh that she wrote down access.
Time, family, being more part of your life.
Now, Josh is confused and he's like, I give you a ton of access.
I've given you a lot of access, financially, emotionally, spiritually.
Baby boy, she is not asking for more stuff. She is asking to have a deeper presence in your life. Josh tells us, I pay for her house, her bills, her groceries. I have helped her along in her career. Like, what more does this bitch want?
Could it be possible we visit your house, see where you live, to understand more about you?
It is and has been very clear that Josh does not want a relationship with Natalie. He just wants to throw money at her face and feel good about himself, plug up her holes every once in a while, and then have her leave him alone when he does not need her.
We make this through this, and you can have access, and you can come over.
Ooh, that is not a compromise. See, this is why the counselors have to be here. These little Goombas don't even know what a compromise is. Buddy, that is a conditional reward. If you play nice, then I'll give you what you want? No! Anyway, Natalie doesn't care. She is happier than a pig in mud.
Let's throw it away. Yes, we can do this.
You heard what I said.
Enough. I don't care.
And then they both chuck their stones into the distance. Rob's rock says transparency, and James is like, okay, Sophie, what do you think that looks like? And she's like, I guess it means that he wants me to be more honest? And James is like, very good. So what are some ways that you can compromise to be more transparent?
I really will be more transparent about how I feel, not like run away from things.
And then James is like, Rob, how's that make you feel hearing her say that she's willing to work on an issue that is important to you? And Rob is like, it means a lot, ... Cause you know, Sophie sucks and she's been super selfish and she hasn't been putting any effort into making this relationship work. And then James just cuts him off and he's like, you said it means a lot. Let's just go ahead and put a little baby period right there. And that thought. Rob reads Sophie's rock that says compassion, and Sophie elaborates saying that Rob always throws things in her face and he never seems to take a moment to think, I wonder why Sophie is so triggered right now. Which is hilarious considering that their entire season of 90 Day was Sophie not being able to do what she's asking Rob to do for her right now. Sophie keeps talking around in circles and she's just not getting to the point, which is very on brand for her. And James thankfully steps in and he's like, okay, so what I'm hearing you try to say is that you want Rob to understand you.
Can you help be empathetic when she's talking to you? Can you listen in a certain way that she needs?
Which I know is difficult because Rob is not the best at reading in between the lines, and Sophie is very bad at concisely expressing her needs. Anyway, these butt munches did a great job, and they get to leave their rocks behind. I do think it's kind of funny that at the beginning of this, Julia was like, oh my god, these two are a mess. Like, we haven't even started and they're already fighting. But then it's like, who's the couple who has to walk the mile back with their rocks still in their backpacks? Everyone makes it back safely, they van up, and Stacy is gushing over the beautiful moment that she shared with her husband.
Felt like if we held on to the rocks, we really wouldn't be making any improvements, and that's why we're here.
Rob says that him and Sophie both got to get rid of their rocks, and everyone in that van is surprised, Sophie included.
We were fortunate to have the therapist with us the whole time.
He had to be there because I walked off. Like, I wanted to go home.
Then Josh is like, why'd you want to leave, Soph? And Sophie's like, that's just how I am. When things get hard, I walk away. And Josh is like, oh, you're not a confrontational person? And Sophie is like, yeah, I run away from all my problems. And Josh is like, well, I'm really glad you could get over it. And Natalie's over here, not next to Josh again, and she is pissed because that was more substantial than any conversation she has ever had with him. So she just starts to project.
I feel like you love her more than she loves you. I feel like you are the one who is pulling your couple.
Then she goes on to say that he really deserves someone who is on his level who really loves him.
I feel like you deserve to have someone equal. The most cool love is like both love each other.
Oh, and you're the expert on that matter? Girlie, you're not even sitting next to your man.
I could just air out her whole business about her man messaging me and trying to fly me out to Vegas. I'm clearly more mature than her.
Yeah, you know, being more mature than Natalie is not exactly a feat. It's a new day, and Sophie still can't understand why Rob can't trust her, and she's like, I don't get it. He's the one who cheated on me. And now she's even more mad that he did not stick up for her when Natalie was dumping all over her.
When Natty stands for me on the bus and he doesn't stick up for me, I'm just feeling totally unsupported by Rob this morning.
Gino and Jasmine get into another argument over their lack of intimacy. Jasmine tries to blame Gino, and Gino tries to blame Jasmine. It does not go well.
You will push me away.
Just I have to be in the right mood.
Yeah, but you're never in the right mood.
Well, what does that tell you?
Gino is like, everyone else at this resort has a nice girl by their side, and I'm stuck with you, a mean, nasty old hag. And Jasmine is like, that is so, so mean. And then she threatens to leave the resort.
Yeah. See ya. Psycho. That's what she is, a psycho.
Everyone gathers for breakfast. Sophie just walks right past Rob, and he's like, I can't believe this bitch lied to me, and she has the audacity to be mad at me. And then he's like, I did not defend her against Natalie because Natalie was just spitting straight facts.
Natalie did call Sophie out for not trying as hard as I am.
She's right. Sophie isn't trying.
Jasmine isn't even at breakfast. She's outside calling her Michigan bestie, Matthew.
Matt is a friend. I met him at the gym. He cares about me and he wants me to be happy.
She says Gino doesn't know about Matt because he doesn't need to know about Matt.
I know he's gonna think that it's more than a friendship. And I know it is not. I never done anything with him.
Gotta love all of these secrets. And that, my Panda Pals, is all I have for you today. I am super excited for next week's episode because it looks like that's the one where Jasmine tells Natalie that Josh has been sliding into Sophie's DMs. And of course, Natalie's reaction is to gun after the girl and not the guy. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you are not subscribed yet, go ahead, click that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. I hope to see you for the next one. And as always, thanks for not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye!